Tell y'all this shit, cause this shit really been fucking with me, really been eating me up. I ain't never stiff with none of my partners, bro.
What happens when your closest homie, the same one who helped you build your empire from absolutely nothing, allegedly takes $70,000 from you, then turns around and says you were too high to even remember giving it to him? Yeah, that's the insane situation that's got the entire hip-hop world split down the middle right now. And it centers around NBA YoungBoy and his former Day One, BBG Baby Joe. We're talking about a bond forged in the trenches of Baton Rouge, a brotherhood that turned into a multi-million-dollar movement, and then completely fell apart over what might be one of the most controversial theft accusations rap has seen in a minute. But here's the part nobody expected. Baby Joe just came out with a bombshell explanation that's making people rethink everything they thought they knew about this fallout. By the end of this video, you'll understand why this situation goes way deeper than just missing money and how it exposes the dark, ugly side of loyalty in the music industry. So stay locked in, because I'm breaking down the real tea behind this whole mess, including the wild details Baby Joe revealed about what really went down that night, and why he's now basically pleading for YoungBoy to let him back in while millions slip right through his hands. Trust me, this story is crazier than anything floating around on social media. Now let me paint the picture real quick. BBG, Baby Joe, and NBA YoungBoy have been locked in since way back. Same streets, same Baton Rouge upbringing. This is the real Day One energy we're talking about. These dudes were grinding together when YoungBoy was still a young, reckless kid just trying to escape the trenches. And Baby Joe wasn't some random tag-along or clout leech. Nah, he was right there in the studio early on, helping shape the sound that would eventually change both their lives. They built the whole BBG movement from scratch, brick by brick, track by track. You could feel the chemistry in those early visuals and collabs. Whenever they linked on a song, that brotherhood was undeniable. Baby Joe had his own lane, his own delivery, but it meshed perfectly with YoungBoy's raw energy. They weren't stepping on each other's shine, they were pushing each other forward. BBG became more than just music. It stood for that Baton Rouge street mentality, loyalty, code ride or die principles they both claimed to live by. Baby Joe was part of that inner circle that defined what BBG even meant to the culture. But y'all already know how these stories tend to end in hip-hop. Once money enters the picture, everything changes. And when the numbers get bigger, the betrayals usually cut deeper. Success can bless you and curse you at the same time, especially when relationships were built during the struggle. Now here's where things really heat up, the part that got everybody talking. Allegedly, NBA YoungBoy accused Baby Joe of taking $70,000 from him. $70,000. Let that sink in. That's not pocket change. That's life-changing money for most people, and enough to turn a brotherhood into a full-blown war.
There was a situation that took place on social media that I want to see if you could clear up for everybody, man. Because people were saying, now this is rumor, this ain't me, they were saying that you had allegedly taken $70K from NBA YoungBoy somehow?
Some gotta holler at my brother about when he come home type. Just some, some in-house shit.
Okay, now why would people think that you had taken $70K from NBA YoungBoy?
Shit, he had said in the song.
Now the way this whole thing even came out was wild. YoungBoy didn't hit Baby Joe's phone and keep it behind closed doors like you'd expect from Day Ones who survived everything together. Nah, he put it straight in the music sliding bars that had the streets. And social media is scrambling to decode what really happened. Almost instantly, the internet went into detective mode. Folks were breaking down lyrics line by line, checking old posts, trying to piece together the timeline. Some people were convinced Baby Joe really took the money, saying greed kicked in, and he figured YoungBoy either wouldn't notice or wouldn't trip because they were family. But others weren't buying that at all. They kept asking the same question. Why would someone already eating off the BBG movement risk everything over $70,000? Baby Joe had his own bag, his own motion, his own opportunities. It just didn't add up for him to throw all that away for money that, to YoungBoy, was probably pocket change. And what made things even messier was the silence. YoungBoy never came out and spelled it all the way out. He just made it clear through the music and through his moves that Baby Joe was cut off. That opened the floodgates. Rumors ran wild. Hip-hop blogs started pushing every theory imaginable. Some said it wasn't just about money. Jealousy was involved. Others claimed Baby Joe had been moving funny for a minute and finally crossed a line. There were even whispers that he got too comfortable and started taking liberties he shouldn't have. For a long time, Baby Joe didn't say a word. Maybe he thought it would fade. Maybe he was trying to fix it quietly behind the scenes. But recently, he finally broke his silence and told his side, and it's nothing like what most people assumed. According to Baby Joe, he never stole anything from YoungBoy. Not at all. He says the exact opposite happened. He claims YoungBoy gave him the money, but was so intoxicated at the time that he later forgot about it. In a recent interview, Baby Joe put it like this: "I never stole from none of my partners. I would never take anything from any of my partners."
Look, tell y'all this shit, cause this shit really been fucking with me, really been eating me up. I ain't never stiff with none of my partners, bro. You hear me? I was giving it high. No, in that. If you take meds, sometimes you forget stuff. You feel me? But like, I ain't no troll. I ain't never want to do this shit. But like, it's kind of getting out of hand. I ain't never go in my mood like that. Nigga too thorough. Nigga changed my life. You feel me? Like, and that shit be hurting my feelings. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that shit be getting to me. So I don't really like that.
It could have been one of those situations where it was handed to me and later forgotten, Baby Joe said, explaining that YoungBoy might not have been in the right state of mind at the time. And that's a heavy claim to put out there, basically suggesting substance use played a role in this entire misunderstanding. You could tell Baby Joe was genuinely emotional talking about it. It was written all over his face, in his voice. For him, this isn't just about money. It's about his name, his reputation in the streets, and more than anything, the bond was someone he really considered a brother. He went on to say that once YoungBoy sobered up and realized the money was gone, he immediately jumped to the conclusion that Baby Joe took it without permission. But from Joe's side, he says he was simply holding on to money that was given to him. No sneaky move, no foul play. And that's where things get tricky. When someone's under the influence, memory isn't always solid. So now you're left with two completely different versions of the same moment, and unless there were witnesses or footage, there's really no way to prove what actually happened.
I counted $2.5 million in the house, y'all. 2.5 million cash money. Cash money, million days, cash money. You think I still 70,000? I'm finna throw this plate away and roll back to see what y'all say. $2.5 million. If you steal $1, you still gonna be a thief. $2.5 million I counted. So I only took 70. Y'all think of that and make that make sense to me, brother. I'm finna go dump this plate.
Baby Joe also opened up about how this whole situation really messed with him mentally and emotionally. He said the accusation cut deep because stealing goes against everything he stands on. In the streets, your word is everything, and once your name gets tied to being a thief, that stain is hard to wash off. And while all this drama has been unfolding, the fallout for Baby Joe has been brutal. YoungBoy has been out here selling out arenas on his mass tour, touching millions, leveling up his legacy. While Baby Joe's been stuck back in Baton Rouge, watching it all from the sidelines like a regular fan, that tour has been beyond successful, and I mean crazy successful. YoungBoy hits city after city, bringing out special guests like Lil Tim Stu, performing in front of packed-out crowds every single night. The energy's been insane. The money? Flowing now. We're talking about one of the biggest hip-hop tours of the year. Arenas holding 15,000 to 20,000 people selling out back. Merch alone probably doing hundreds of thousands a night. Add in ticket sales, VIP packages, meet and greets. This tour is a straight-up money machine. Baby Joe's at home dealing with legal issues that have him stuck in Louisiana, unable to even leave the state. Even if YoungBoy wanted to bring him on tour, it wouldn't matter, baby. Joe's probation from old charges makes traveling impossible right now. What really hits is how honest Baby Joe's been about the pain. He said, "I love it, man. I love it. You deserve it. Ain't a hate bone in my body." He made it clear that whether he's part of it or not, he still supports YoungBoy and watches everything from afar. He keeps up with the videos, the clips, the moments, just not participating. And that's some real pain right there. Imagine watching your day one live out the dream y'all once shared, while you're stuck at home dealing with the consequences of a situation you say you didn't even cause. Every night, YoungBoy's on stage in front of thousands. Baby Joe's probably scrolling Instagram, seeing tour footage, remembering when that could have been him too. The tour's been hitting major cities: Atlanta, Houston, LA, New York, places where Baby Joe definitely has fans expecting to see him. Instead, they're seeing Big B, Ben 10, the rest of the crew, but no, Baby Joe. And one thing Baby Joe's been painfully real about: his pride. He admitted that even if there was a chance to fix things with YoungBoy, his pride might be the biggest thing stopping him from reaching out first. As he put it himself, "My pride, that's probably the biggest one. That's really what it is."
My pride is the biggest one. That's really what it is. My pride, the biggest one.
This is some real street psychology right here. In the hood, your pride and your reputation mean everything. When somebody accuses you of stealing, especially someone you once called family, that cuts way deeper than money. It's about disrespect. It's about broken trust. It's about being painted like the type of person who'd betray someone they loved. Baby Joe explained that he could pull up on YoungBoy face to face and talk it out, but right now, he's just hurt. And instead of forcing a moment or chasing reconciliation, he's letting the situation sit. Letting YoungBoy do his thing while he tries to figure out his own lane. As he put it, "I'm feeling hurt, brother. So right now, I'm just letting it be what it be. I ain't really pushing the issue like that." And you can hear that pain when he speaks. This isn't business to him. This was family. And when family turns on you publicly, that hits different than any rap, beef, or industry politics. while YoungBoy keeps leveling up. Baby Joe's reality looks completely different. He's back in the same Baton Rouge streets. Both of them were trying to escape. He's been open about his situation too, recently getting out on old charges from his younger days. Stuff he stopped going to court for after getting shot and falling behind. Eventually, it all caught up to him. Now he's trying to rebuild his music career without the BBG machine behind him. And that's not easy. No built-in promo, no automatic features, no safety net. He's been grinding on new music, starting his own label Waboo Records, and planning 2 projects called All On Me and Open Book. And those titles say a lot. He's taking full accountability and putting his story out there raw. But let's be honest, going from one of the hottest crews in hip-hop to independent grind mode is a massive adjustment. When you were part of BBG, everything moved easier. Now Baby Joe has to rebuild brick by brick. Financially, things are clearly tighter too. He won't speak on exact numbers, but you can read between the lines. No tour checks, no BBG money, no access to that YoungBoy cash machine pulling in millions. He did mention getting a decent check recently, but he brushed it off with some real street wisdom. Never let a person know what's in your pockets, which tells you whatever he got. He knows it has to stretch. That's why some people think Baby Joe's been begging YoungBoy to take him back. From interviews to social posts, he's been publicly showing love, praising the mass tour, celebrating YoungBoy's success, and making it clear there's no hate in his heart. He even said, "I'm mad at the situation, never mad at the person." Some see that as genuine love for someone he still considers a brother. Others see a man down bad, hoping public loyalty might soften YoungBoy's heart and open the door back up. The truth, it's probably both. The bond was real, and you don't just turn that off. But at the same time, fixing that relationship would change everything for him, financially and career-wise. And when he talks about potentially linking back up, you can hear the hope. We might end up linking up soon, but I can't leave the state right now. What really complicates things is the industry pressure. Baby Joe says people from both sides have been calling him, telling him to stop speaking on it publicly. Let it go. Move on. But he's struggling with that advice because his name is on the line. As he said, stealing is major. That's a hard jacket to wear. In street culture, once people question your integrity, everything changes how people treat you, do business with you, and even protect you. He also mentioned childhood friends telling him he's explaining himself to people who don't matter. But for Baby Joe, this isn't about blogs. It's about his kids. Clearing his name for the future, he said he wants his sons to grow up knowing their father was solid, not someone with a stain on his name. So where does this all stand now? YoungBoy's still on top, selling out arenas, dropping hits, and running his empire with his core team. The BBG machine is moving just fine without Baby Joe. Meanwhile, Baby Joe's rebuilding from the ground up, pushing new music, trying to move forward while this cloud still hangs over him. They're not beefing, but they're not brothers like before either. Just stuck in limbo. Baby Joe's holding on to hope. YoungBoy seems locked in on business, and whether reconciliation ever happens is still up in the air. At the end of the day, this whole situation shows how fast money, pride, and misunderstandings can destroy even the strongest bonds. The $70,000 isn't just about cash. It's about trust, loyalty, and reputations that once lost are hard to recover. So what do you think? Do you believe Baby Joe's explanation, or do you think there's more to this story?